I was standing in the kitchen, rinsing a coffee mug I'd forgotten to wash the night before, when my phone buzzed on the counter. I didn't think much of it. At my age, messages usually meant a delivery update, a reminder from the pharmacy, or a forwarded photo from a distant relative. But when I picked up the phone and read my son's text, my hands went cold. "You're not welcome at dinner tonight. My wife doesn't want you there." No greeting, no explanation, just that. For a long moment, I stared at the screen, rereading the words as if they might rearrange themselves into something less sharp. I had already bought a small gift, his favorite dessert from the bakery down the street. We'd been planning this dinner for weeks, or so I thought. I typed back slowly. Did I do something wrong? 3 dots appeared, then disappeared. Finally, another message came. "It's just better this way. Please understand." Understand what? That I'd been erased from my own son's life with a single sentence. I sat down at the small kitchen table and let the memories wash over me. I remembered holding him the night he was born, promising out loud that I would always be there for him. I remembered working double shifts, missing vacations, skipping meals, doing whatever it took to give him opportunities I never had. And now I was being told not to come to dinner. His wife, Melissa, and I had never been close, but I didn't think we were enemies either. From the moment she entered his life, things had shifted. Phone calls grew shorter. Visits became rare. Conversations felt carefully managed, like I was stepping around invisible tripwires. Still, I never imagined this. I didn't respond right away. Instead, I folded my hands and asked myself a difficult question. What kind of parent do I want to be in this moment? I could lash out. I could remind him of everything I'd sacrificed. I could show up unannounced and force a confrontation. But I didn't. Instead, I replied with one sentence. "I'm hurt, but I respect your decision. I hope you have a nice evening." I put the phone down and stared at the gift bag on the counter. After a few minutes, I carried it to the cupboard and placed it on the top shelf, where it sat like a reminder of something unfinished. That evening was quiet, too quiet. I turned on the television for noise, but my thoughts were louder. I wondered how many other moments I would be excluded from, holidays, birthdays, milestones I'd once assumed were guaranteed. The next morning, there was another message. "Mom, are you okay?" It was from my daughter, his younger sister. I hesitated, then typed back honestly. "Your brother asked me not to come to dinner. His wife didn't want me there." Her reply came almost instantly. "What? That's not right." Later that afternoon, my son called. "I didn't think you'd take it this hard," he said, his voice defensive. "I didn't think you'd send it so easily," I replied, keeping my tone calm. There was silence on the line. "Melissa feels judged," he finally said. "She thinks you look down on her." I laughed softly, not because it was funny, but because it was so far from the truth. "I've never judged her," I said. "I've been careful with every word because I was afraid of pushing you away." "That's not how she sees it." "I'm sorry she feels that way," I said, "but cutting me out isn't the solution." Another pause, this one longer. "I just want peace in my marriage," he said. "And I want peace in my family," I replied. "Those two things shouldn't cancel each other out." We ended the call without resolution, but something had shifted. For the first time, I hadn't begged, defended myself, or minimized my pain to keep the peace. Weeks passed. I stopped initiating contact, not out of spite but out of self-respect. I focused on my own life, friends, routines, small joys I'd neglected while trying to stay relevant in his. Then one evening, my doorbell rang. It was my son, alone. "I messed up," he said quietly. He told me dinner that night had been tense, that my absence had felt louder than my presence ever had, that he realized he'd chosen the easiest path instead of the right one. "I shouldn't have spoken to you like that," he said. "I shouldn't have uninvited you." I nodded. I won't compete with your marriage, I told him, but I won't disappear either. He didn't argue. We're not magically fixed. Melissa and I are still learning how to exist in the same space, but one thing is different now. I no longer accept being pushed aside to keep others comfortable. Because love shouldn't require silence. And respect shouldn't be optional, even at dinner.